So, good everybody. Um, I just wanted to come on here and say that I this matchup between the Knicks and the Pacers, it's gonna be a good one. It really is. Um, you have I'm not gonna say two historic franchises, but you have one franchise who's won two championships, and you have another one who's never won a championship. Obviously, the ABA does not count, even though they won three. Um, they, the ABA and the NBA they were like two separate leagues. You know, same thing goes for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets won two championships, but it was from the ABA. The Pacers are one of those teams where you can't have any stinkers against them, because I know OG and the cat likes to disappear a lot, and you can't ask, not really, you can't ask, but Hart can't have games where he scores 5 points, you know what I'm saying, 10 points, right? Like, everybody's supposed to be in double figures. They're capable of that, right? Like, I believe all three of them are capable, outside of Brunson and Cat, that can give you 40, 30, 40, 30. The other guys have to pick up, because if you know Tom Thibodeau, he likes to push the envelope. He does not rely on his bench. Go back and look at Derrick Rose. When he coached Derrick Rose, did Derrick Rose really have, or not really Derrick Rose, but did the Bulls really have a great bench? No. They had they had a great starting five. They had Boozer, Noah, Blue Out Bang, Jimmy Butler. Okay, Jimmy Butler was coming off the bench. I'll give you that. They had a pretty good squad. But again, Tom Thibodeau likes to run heavy minutes. Not heavy minutes, but he likes to go full throttle on his starters, and again, the key to this game is the X factors. Don't look at the superstars, because we all know the superstars are going to show up. Right? It's usually the X factor. It's usually the player that you least expect. Like a Miles Turner, who's probably going to give us problems on the offensive end, because who's going to guard Miles Turner? You know what I'm saying? You got Pascal Siakam, you got Obi Toppin, you got Halliburton, you got Naismith. So we got all these different pieces that the Pacers can throw at you, and this is why I think the Pacers, I know the Pacers are going to win the series, but we're not going to go down swinging. We're going to put up a fight. We're going to lose the series, but we're going to put up a fight. Every single game, we're going to put up a fight. There ain't going to be no stinkers, not any blowouts. Hope not. And the Pacers are going to win in 6. Because for me, I believe that, for one, what's going to doom us is we don't have a bench. And we haven't had a bench since the start of the season. Like you tell me anybody that's gonna come off the bench and give us 20, 25. Miles McBride, he's hot and cold. He'll probably give you 17 one night, 6-10 the next. The Pacers have players that can rotate. They have a good starting five. They have a good solid bench. They got Obi Toppin coming off the bench, I believe. I don't think he's in the rotation. He's coming off the bench. You got Naismith. You got Mathurin. You got all these guys that can produce. While Tom Thibodeau, Tibbs is going to run his starters. He's going to believe in his starters, first part. Second part, he's going to run them to the ground because our starting five is our bench. Like OG, Mikal Bridges, they cannot have stinkers. You can't have Mikal giving you 14, OG giving you 17, 18. They're going to have to put at least a 20 each. If they can give you 20 points each, then we have a series. But if they show up and they give you stinkers, and Brunson has 37 and Cat has 35, and Hart has 10 points, we're going to lose this game. We're not going to win. We're going to lose the series. It's not going to be close. And the Pacers have never won a championship. They won it this thing. They won it three times in the NBA. In the ABA. They won it in 1970, 1972, and 1973. The last time the Knicks won a championship was in 1973. Okay? The first meeting was February 9th, 1977. The last meeting was this year, February 11th, where we lost, I think, 119 to 110, I believe. So, yeah, I literally had to go back last night and watch every single game this year that we faced the Pacers. Oh boy. I tell you, man, it is not gonna look. It is not gonna look pretty at all. I believe the last time we faced the Pacers in the playoffs, they obviously had Paul George. In that defense, you've seen how decimated, they manhandled us because they had a pretty good defense. You had Roy Hibbert, you had David West, you had Danny Ranger. I mean, God, that team was. I could have thought that team was gonna at least. And then you had a 24-year-old Paul George. That team was destined probably to win a championship, but they ran into a very good Miami Heat team. Even they gave them fits on the defensive end, because Miami was the type of team that if you turn the ball over, they can turn 2 into 8. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 into 16, because that's the type of style that they play. Run and gun. So. I don't know what type of offense we run, to be honest with you. I think it was just a whole bunch of ISOs, just give Brunson the ball. Even though he won Clutch Player of the Year, like I always say, you can't win with Brunson as your number one option. And then you have Monica McNutt saying that he's the greatest Knicks player ever. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, obviously you discrediting you you discrediting other Knicks sports, but I mean to say that he's the greatest Knicks of all time, that's pushing it. You know? I don't know if you think he's the greatest Knick of all time. He's the best point guard we ever had. Outside of Felton and Starks and Anthony, not Carmelo Anthony, the other Anthony. Um, but yeah, man. Cause I had to go back and forth. I mean, I know I said that the Knicks was gonna win, but after watching the series, like I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up right now. Just to show y'all. Cause the Knicks and the Pacers have met 6 times in the postseason. See, I'm on it right now. So just give me a sec. They met in early 2000. They met 2011. They met in 1990. I mean, Patrick Ewing missing that finger roll. So I was thinking about like who was in that draft class with Patrick Ewing, and it was Karl Malone. Like Karl Malone was in that exact same draft class as Patrick Ewing, and I told my friend like, what if what if the Knicks chose what if the Knicks passed on Ewing and drafted Karl Malone? Is that universal? You know what? You're kidding me? So all these games are on TNT? That's bull. So the Pacers have their first 2 games. So right here, let me. I know y'all can't see that, but right here, all these games are on TNT. That's bull. Oh god. Okay, so going back into the postseason, game 1 we won against Detroit. Game 2, we lost against Detroit. Game 3 we won. Game 4 we won. Game 5 we lost, and then game 6 we won. So we took them to 6 games. 6 bum ass. Well, I'm not gonna call them bum ass, but a team that can't shoot the ball. Well, I'm not gonna say they can't shoot. They just don't have any shooters. How can a team with a lack of shooting efficiency take us to 6 games? That's wild. So Brunson had 34 points, Brunson 37, Towns 31, Brunson 32, and OG 19. See, can't have one of these stinkers. 19 points is not going to cut it. Hart and Towns are the only one that's getting you rebounds, and Brunson is obviously leading the team in assists. So moving on to Boston, the first two games we won, we lost game 3, we won game 4, lost game 5, and then obviously won game 6. So both games we went to 6. So obviously the Pacers are going to have 2 home games and then 2 away games, and the Pacers are going to go back on the road for game 6. No, game 5, 6, and then 7. But how did we fare with them in the regular season? Okay, so the start of the NBA playoff regular season, that's crazy. We kicked off the year against Boston. Obviously, we lost that game with a total blowout. And then after that, faced the Pacers, who we won. We actually won that game. Brunson led us in points, 26. Rebound, 15. Brunson, 5 assists. We won that 123 to 98. And then we didn't face them again until November. On the 10th, we actually lost that game 132 to 131. No, yeah, 132 to 121. Brunson had 33 points. Hart had 10 rebounds. Brunson had 10 assists. And then we didn't face them until February 11th, where we actually won that game 128 to 115. So out of 3 matchups, we won 1, lost 1, so it's 1-1. And we didn't face them until February 11th, which was, yeah. So we actually have a 2-1 lead against them in the series. In the regular season. And then after that, we didn't face them until, actually, yeah, we only had one. We only faced them 3 times. Yeah, so we have a 2-1 lead against them in the regular season. So you could say that, yeah, you can say that, right, we have nothing to worry about, right? Like, we have a 2-1 series advantage against them, but, where they make their mark at is in the playoffs. They have embarrassed us in the playoffs way too many times. Whether it's, Paul George, a rising Paul George, or whether it's, that 8 seconds that Reggie Miller scored 9 points, or 8 points, or that finger roll Patrick Bean missed. I don't know why he should have just dunked that. I don't know what. A guy that size should be freaking dunking the ball, not doing freaking jelly roll layups and shit. But it is what it is. Because he had a similar game. I think it was game 5. He was backing down somebody, and he did a little hook shot, and he went in. And the Pacers had like 1.5 seconds left, and then they had to advance the court because they ran out of timeouts. Um, so he had similar games where he actually um, progressed. He actually showed up. But yeah, man, I'll just say this, man. Like the Pacers, to me, even though we have like a 2-1 lead against them in the regular season, that don't mean anything because the playoffs is where it counts. You know, um, it sucks that man none of these games are gonna be on ABC. Sucks, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get the Timberwolves in OKC. Um, I'm probably gonna get two of those games or three of those games on ABC. Um, dang, I wish I had cable, which I don't. um, I mean, I could pay for NBA package, but that's just probably going to like, yeah, yeah, it is what it is. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the X factor is probably going to be the benches for each team. For each team, I think the bench is going to be the X factor. Um, Now again, we do have a 2-1 lead against them in the regular season. The same, like we had a 2-1 lead. Actually, we had a 3-1 lead. No, actually, we had a 3-2 lead against them in the regular season when we had Melo and Stoudemire and J.R. Smith. And then obviously they, got payback in the postseason. You know, Stoudemire hit his hand in the fire extinguisher. Melo got blocked by Roy Hibbert. You know, he was dealing with a shoulder injury. And I'm pretty sure Reggie Miller is going to be calling these games. But, yeah, but it's going to be a fun series. But, like I said, um, Mikal and OG, they're the X factors. Forget Brunson, forget Cat, because we all know what they can do. You know, those two guys need to step up the most. And Hart. Hart has to. I mean, if Hart could give you at least 19, Mikel could give you 25, OG could give you 23, then we have a shot. And then obviously the bench. I mean, again, that's where I think the Pacers have an advantage because they have their bench is too depth or their bench is too deep. Not really deep, but they just have guys that they can alternate. You know, um, like who's gonna be on Mikel? Not Mikel. Who's gonna be on Pascal Siakam? You know, um, like I could see Halliburton don't even have to have a good game. You know, it's kind of like SGA. Like, you know, he doesn't have to put up 40 every single night. You know, he's gonna probably have like 12 assists, 6 rebounds, 23, 14 points. You know, like he doesn't have to go out there and be Superman. And I think that's where the Knicks are gonna be in trouble because when Brunson is not in the lineup, or he's gonna play a majority of the time. I mean, not majority, but he's gonna play probably like 40, 42, 43 minutes. He's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot. So Halliburton don't have to do that all the time. You know, he don't. Um, and I've seen games where he goes off for like 14, 15, 16, 17 points, and he has like 12 assists, 9 assists, and then they win, you know? Because you got two good bigs that can shoot. You got Opie, Toppin, obviously. And you don't think he's going to feel some type of way after we traded him? Man, this matchup is tricky. But maybe Pacers in 6, man. I just feel like we don't have enough. No, we don't have enough, and it's not being, and it's not being a sour place or whatever. I mean, I do want my Knicks to go all the way, you know, but people have to understand the bench matters too, not just the starters. You know, the starters is not going to play all the damn time. Well, the starters are not going to play the whole entire quarter, you know, from start to finish. You know, they're going to need some rest too. So when the starters on the bench, guess what? The Pacers Pacers bench is bigger. I think with 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 Mathurin and Opie and the boys that they have, I think they can triumph the next bench, because who do you got coming off the bench? If you had Hart coming off the bench, that would be great. So that means Deuce, McBride, and Hart can give you at least something. But you have nobody. And again, we all know Tibbs like to run his starters to the ground. So when it comes to like the second and third quarter, they're going to be gassed because they played the whole entire first quarter. You know what I'm saying? So the Pacers, they don't play like that. You know, they rotate their guys, you know. Which I do the same thing in 2K too. I like to mix my bench with my starters. But yeah, they rotate their guys, you know. I mean, if you got Opie and you got Opie Toppin and Benarith Mathrick giving you, you know, what they can give you. And you got Naismith. Pacers in 6, man. Leave me alone. Like, comment, subscribe.